welcome to Queen JayaLynn. This is Champion, and I don't know how to work this thing today. I don't know. It's gonna be a great show. This is your 30 minutes of encouragement, and trust me, we all can use some encouragement. Our guest for today is
You want me to tell them or you want to tell them?
yes.
Oh, I am the CEO and founder of Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am also Jaya's mother.
So, if you are watching, let us know how you are doing on this 12th day of January. I'm excited.
I'm going to call it the 12th post day of Christmas or New Year's.
You gotta say New Year's.
All right, the 12th post day of New Year's.
Christmas was more than 12 days ago.
Yep.
But I'm excited because I got to see snow yesterday for the first time in a long time. We got less than an inch in Rhode Island, but
Well, you can have something else.
I would love some of y'all's. I mean, school days don't work for me anymore since I live where I work, but I would love some not work days because of the snow.
I'm going to send you some. I'm
All right.
encouraged.
To start us off, ma'am, what do you think has been, if you had to think about all the advice that you've been given, the best piece of encouragement that you've ever received?
Oh my gosh, it's so much. I think that my world is set up of encouragement. Anything that I hear that can push me to grow, I definitely take heed to it. Somebody told me, I think this might be the answer to your question. Somebody told me some years back, they said, chew the meat and spit out the bones. If it doesn't apply, then go ahead and let it go. Don't dwell on it. Don't get stuck in it. But there may be some validity in it. So keep what you need when somebody gives you advice and encouragement, and let the stuff go that you don't need.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Beverly told me that.
Especially when you have so many people who are always trying to, and I don't want to say give advice, but always trying to give their 2 cents. And it has nothing to do with what you're actually trying to do. Sometimes it's really just them being nice, but other times just really take a step back because you're not helping the way you think you're helping.
Absolutely. I've been a victim of that. I ain't gonna say a victim. I've been a example of that. And I'm gradually learning. Sometimes my opinion is not what somebody's asking for. Sometimes people just want to talk. Sometimes people want to vent. And sometimes they're not looking for my experience. They're just looking at how would I handle things. And I've in the middle parts of my years, I used to say, well, you should do this and this and this and this and this, until I learned, I'm not like everybody else. So what I would do doesn't necessarily mean that's what somebody else should do. And also, just because I did it that way doesn't mean that it was the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa. It worked for you, doesn't work for me. But even, and this is something I actually haven't heard about in a long time, but putting your perspective per se, or your failed in tips isn't the word, but I feel like that would be an easy way to explain it, that idea onto somebody else, in the sense of me saying, I did this, I thought it was going to work, but maybe it's the person, and I'm going to give you this advice and expect you to do it because it didn't work for me, so it's going to work for you, knowing that it failed before.
Well, yeah, because that's a good one. Just because it didn't work for me, it may work for you. Well, maybe not. But it's something when we know something doesn't work, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at your shirt, and the only thing I know that is a sure thing is my relationship with God. But outside of that, everything is speculation, trial and error, what may and what may not. But can I say something? Oh my gosh, this is such a pet peeve. Let's stop getting upset with people because they don't do it our way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they wanted to do it our way, they would. And they're not us. And everybody's pain level is different. Everybody's acceptance level is different. Everybody's boundaries is different. So let's not get upset with people because they don't do it our way because we're not them. God said, my ways are not your ways. So if his ways are not our ways, how can our ways be somebody else's?
I used to get so mad at people because, and it would be for dumb little things, but it was something as simple as why, and I'll use this one because this is more like what happened. But why are we leaving half cartons of milk in the fridge? Or I'm not leaving them in the fridge, leaving them out for days and nobody's using it. And that was a bad example. But for the sense of everybody is different, we grow up differently. Um, you can't expect someone who grew up with 5 siblings compared to someone growing up with their only child to automatically have the same morals, values, or even their day-to-day responsibilities being the same. And that's something that we have to understand completely in the sense of everybody is not the same, but also we have to stop. And I'm saying we because like I said, used to do this a lot. We can't keep getting mad at people for being different. We have to celebrate the differences, but also acknowledging and making it known, hey, I do things this way. You might not, but this is how I do it. Because the longer you let it dwell or let that anger boil up, they don't know why you're upset. Now you are angry whenever this person comes in the room, or now you don't want to be around them for certain things. And it does not affect them, it affects you if you let it.
But you know what? It's so funny that you say that because, first of all, I love the example of the milk. Um, because I don't know, since I've gotten older, I just see milk sit in the refrigerator. One, we were taught, well, when I was brought up on drinking milk. Now, that's not really what we do. I don't think that I made my kids drink milk.
I try
However,
to.
the milk is always there if you need it, but most of the time it go to waste.
Yeah. Yep.
And we are in a state where things do go to waste a lot. Because when I was coming up, not going, not going to next door neighbors doing bar some sugar, bar some milk, bar some eggs. But now we let all of those things go to waste because we don't cook like we did back in the day. Um, we have more eating out opportunities. It's so many things that's different. So we get mad. And I remember, I'm not going to say no names, but it was one of my siblings. And they used to get mad at me all the time. Why are you always buying your kids this? And why are you giving them a whole chicken box? And why are you buying them this? And why are you buying them that? And now we're in a world where that's what they're doing as well. I think I just, that's probably
Yeah. And that's the one thing that usually is consistent when going back to it didn't work for you, so I'm gonna tell it didn't work for me, so now I'm gonna tell you this, maybe it'll work for you. But after a while, the failed attempts of doing things, and I guess this goes on the opposite side of wanting to do things the way other people do it, but the failed attempts of trying to do things the way somebody else does it, or um, continuously following their footsteps. But it's the, well, you weren't a fan before, but now you're a fan now, that always gets me in a, huh, you thought I wasn't paying attention, but I was. So I I understand that part.
But you know what? A lot of times people don't realize that we grow up, we mature. The things that we used to like, we like. We the things that we didn't like before, we like now. The
Hmm.
things that we did like before, we don't have an interest in anymore. So I think that when we get to that point where, well, why do you like it now? Now you're trying to jump on a bandwagon. Well, guess what? My taste in things have changed. A situation has changed my perspective. So we definitely are so judgmental that we got to get out of that judgment place, because guess what? A lot of times when we're in that place, we start causing individuals um, self-esteem issues, and then we're wondering, well, why your self-esteem so low? Because you did it. You told me what I shoulda, coulda, and woulda. Or we begin to cause people um, pain and broken heart issues. But then we looking at those people like, well, I don't understand why this bothers you. Because it does. We're not the same people. So I love the topic of this conversation because I want to encourage people, you know, be who you are, but allow other people to be who they are as well.
Yep. Um, honestly, it. So I work on a college campus, as you know, and the worst thing about it, and there's a lot of horrible things about my job. A lot
No,
of
it's not.
a lot of things I love, but there are a lot of horrible things about my job. But the worst part is knowing that I have already gone through the bachelor experience and mine is completely different than theirs, but seeing them stress about the little things. And I'm like, why are you so angry that you gotta be? And I know I used to be the same way, but it's because I've grown from it. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. You could have failed. And I always use that example of, so what's a doctor that used to get D's? A doctor.
Doctor.
And surprisingly, a lot of them did not know about that joke before I told them. And I'm like, and I'm gonna keep using it in the
Mm.
sense of, just because you're not the top culinary chef in your class does not mean you're not going to one day become the greatest chef in the world, or whatever that may look like. You're not going to be perfect at everything. You shouldn't want to be perfect at everything, especially in this new day and age, which is insanity. But letting that perfectionist take over and you not enjoying all of these days that you're living day after day. So
Yeah, we definitely have to encourage people with love. Even though in our mind we're like, it's really not that. But like you said, remembering that I went through that phase. It might not have been to that extent, but I went through that phase. So now I'm able to give compassion to other people. I'm able to, as I used to always say about a dear person in my life, they will cut you and you not even know that you've been cut. But you can bring people out of a interesting situation just by showing them they can get through it. They might not have to go through it the way that you got through it, because now you are the one that's talking to them.
yeah. Ugh, God put you in places you can't say no to. But
Yeah, but you
yeah.
know what? I'm
Mhm.
sorry. You know the funny part about the whole concept of making sure that other people aren't in a bad place or encouraging people through their stuff. The interesting part of that is you're still encouraging yourself. When you're telling somebody else or giving, for lack of better terms, advice, make sure that advice that you're giving is advice that you would yourself take. Because I remember having a conversation, and I know the Holy Spirit kept saying to me all the time, well, you said you would do this, this, and this. So while you're encouraging people, encourage them through the lens of what was their conversation to God. Because it's a lot of things that I don't do because of the conversations that I had with God.
And honestly, that is a good point, because when I'm telling them, hey, I get it, do not stress, and this is me giving them this air quote advice, because I know that it's not always going to be the same when they are having conversations with their parents. It's not always the same when they are talking to their siblings. But no, the advice truly does not only work when it's being given, it also works when it's being received, in the sense that I'm also in school. I know the baby face, sometimes it fools you. And people don't understand that I have already gotten my bachelor's. But even while I'm in the master's program and I'm saying, hey, I have 20 days to finish 2 classes, I should be stressing out right now. But I know that the stress doesn't help anybody. It would hurt me completely. I've already gone through stressing, not only with classes, but work and other things in life. But I am at the point of, why are we stressing about the little things? You miss your bus? That is perfectly fine. Think of it in the sense of God is stopping you or protecting you from something. Excuse me. Is stopping or protecting you from something. If you are too tired and you end up going to sleep and not as productive as you want to be, there's a positive to the things that we think are negatives. So that's how I've been going about these past 12 days after New Year's. And it's been interesting in the sense of that peace of mind has been making me see things a lot clearly. Um, it's been something that I literally shared with one of my students the other day, because she was freaking out about something that happened in her class. And I'm like, yeah, you can freak out about it. You can be stressed or worried right now, but ultimately think about it in the sense of, when you think back, what did leaving the class do for you? What, in a sense, now you just got 10 minutes to regroup and think about uh, what's going to happen before you get in class without it being a negative thing. Think of it as in a positive way. You're muted.
I don't think I've ever been on a segment.
And in the sense of thinking of things in a positive light, I get it completely. There's so many different things that could, or aspects. There's life itself that makes you second guess. I was talking to somebody, and I don't know who it was. I truly don't remember. It was maybe 2 days ago. And I was explaining how, while I love my job, sometimes I second guess if this is for me. But I always think and go back to, God put me in this place for a reason. I never, ever in a million years thought I would be where I am today, Rhode Island, or even with the job.
You thought you was going to be traveling the world,
I thought I
in
would have lived in
California.
California or Florida. Now, grown up me does not want to go to California, Florida, or New York. Three places that I thought,
New York is fun.
nope, too many people.
It is for you.
Too many people for me.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, because you are absolutely on point. Because you were right where I was picking up from.
um, so I always have these moments where I'm like, is this a place for me? Should I even be here? What good am I doing? And I something always happens where God is like, this is the good that you're doing. Literally walking in my building almost 30 minutes ago, and we're in a whole new semester, and I have a connection with so many of my students where they'll see me whether I am in the building or not in the building, and like, hey, and then just like letting me know everything that's happening in their world. Where I literally sometimes have to tell people when they come in my office, I am not a licensed therapist, but I am an active listener, and I will listen to what you have to say, whether you want me to give some type of feedback or not. Let me know, but I'm gonna let you talk and get things off your chest and off your mind where you don't feel as though you have to hold it in because no one's listening. So I feel like even in these almost 2 years since I've been in this current position, it's truly made some type of a difference where I mainly see my first years, but even after they're no longer first years, they still come in my building. And I'm like, weren't you one of the ones complaining about the building all this time?
Of
And now
course.
you. So, um, it's always something. And there will always be things that I'm like, I don't know why you have me here. These kids don't listen to me. What is the point of me being here? And then randomly, one next minute, hey, I know you wanted this. I did this, and on top of that, I also made sure this was done, and we truly appreciate you, and all that other stuff that is helpful to hear. And not that I always need the
Encouragement, the
the
validation.
validation, but it is helpful to know that it's coming from God.
But you know what? I love that about the way we are wired as Christians. Um, because when God calls you to serve and He puts you on a mission, you're not gonna always see what it is that He wants to get from you at that time. Um, and being in the field that I'm in and doing this for over 30 years now, um, many days, kids, well, adults now, they'll come back, they'll reach out to me or see me on the street and they're like, hey. And then I have to go back into my intellectual database, like, where did I have this kid? Um, but just knowing, you know, you might not like me now, but you will appreciate everything that I'm doing. And it's the positive impact that we're supposed to give. And a lot of times we don't. So just to even go back to your initial question, what is something that somebody has said to me as an encouragement or that I would continue to live by? One thing is keep doing what you're doing because your rewards are not going to always show up right then and there, but you will reap you will reap the benefits of your labor eventually. And I mean, a lot of things I didn't want to grow up, and I don't think I grew up until I got in my 40s, and that's because I wanted to hold on to the things that didn't feel right. But the more these young adults come to me and I'm looking at them working at airports, getting college degrees, um, having their own children and being married, it's like, wow, you imparted some things. And it's a scripture in the Bible where they talk about planting, watering, and planting the, some plant, some water, and God gives the increase. And I feel like God has allowed me to plant and water so many people. And now I'm watching what God is doing in their lives. I mean, I have a kid who was not a Christian. And when I talk to them now, I can still see the hands of God all over them.
Whew.
Don't give up in well doing. In due season, you will reap if you faint not. I think Jaya is doing homework.
Right now,
Yes, in the middle of your show.
I'm actually not. You can't see my glasses?
Girl, no, I don't have mine on. So let me ask you a question. I know you
Okay.
don't have a lot of time left, but being a host on a segment like this, um, why did you choose the version of the title of encouragement over motivation and inspiration?
I feel as though, and everything that I say is my own personal opinion and not the opinion of Curious Inspirational Radio. I feel as though when it comes to inspiration, it's usually in a sense of trying to um inspire people, which truly that's not my whole goal here. It's to share different stories, and because I know that sometimes we go through similar trials and tribulations and we feel as though we're alone, it's just my way of saying you are not alone, whether I've gone through it the exact same way or in similar aspects. Because I've gotten through it or because you've gotten through it, we can assist or be a part of helping somebody else get through theirs. Um, but as long as it's not a, oh, well, been there, done that, I just want to get past it. And sometimes we do want to get past it. But what happens when it comes back up and now we just want to avoid the whole situation? We have this platform or these amazing people who've also been through it, and they want to help us together get through it the right way and not avoidance. So encouragement, because, and I think you said it earlier, we all need that piece of encouragement to get us to continue, or that reminder to say you are amazing even though you may have not gotten to the goal that you wanted, but you've reached a milestone that no one else can say they did the exact same way you have, in the sense of and we'll just stick to the assignments and homework, and I can say, oh, well, I have 20 days to finish my assignments for 2 classes, and I could be upset about it, but no one else can say that everything that I've gone through in the same order that I've gone through would have put them in a better position than I have, or because of everything I've gone through, I at least have one class out the way, and that's a milestone that I could have not even gotten to. Um, so just with everything, we're in 2025. 2024 was interesting.
I love that.
2023
My daughter.
was, whew, huh?
Interesting.
That's my word. I don't know why. But that little 5-second encouragement can change somebody's whole mindset. Then I feel like I'm doing what it is that God has me to do.
Absolutely. 5 seconds of encouragement makes a whole difference. If you encourage somebody every day that you see them, eventually they'll start believing whatever you're telling them. So I love the encouragement. As you know, I am the encourager, Trivia Payne, the encourager. Um, and I love that about me because even when I feel like I can't encourage myself, when I'm encouraging other people, I am actually encouraging myself. Um, I'm getting ready to do a champ in takeover, producer style, CEO style. Um, but I do want to ask you a couple questions. I know you're past your time slot, um, but I just want the viewers and the listeners to hear one, not because you're my daughter, but why did you choose to do another segment on Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast Network? And then the second um, question, and you can answer them both at the same time, is why should somebody else come and do a segment on Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast Network?
Um, I feel like it's a different platform that you don't. It's not social media. It's not. Oh, you have to look a certain way to use it to get somebody to listen. If no one's here, this is still me giving my 30 minutes. It's 9 times out of 10 that raw sense of non-edited conversations. Um, but ultimately, it's reaching a different type of audience that I don't even know that's out there. It's an opportunity, really, that it's not the on the spot talking that I was thinking about, but it's an opportunity where just because I know a group of people, 9 times out of 10 on the broadcast, the people who are listening or watching, they're people that may not know me personally, and they can take and accept whatever they want to take and accept without feeling obligated. And then the reason that people should, I guess the question was, why should others want to be on the broadcast?
Yep.
Okay. Same reason I just said. You are able to speak freely. I promise you, I am not a social media fanatic or influencer or anything like that. I am just your typical pageant queen, higher ed professional, master student, um, that loves encouraging other people. But if you feel as though you're in the same boat, you have something great and important to say, that you have a talent or even a niche of speaking to so many other people, then Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast. The
I'm
name?
only going to give you credit for looking like that because if anybody watches this tonight or any other day, they're going to be like, does she even know what she's talking about? Yes, we went from Trivia's Inspirational Radio, and since 2021, we have expanded to a broadcast network. So you are absolutely correct.
Since 2025, we changed the name.
No, 2024.
It was Trivia Inspirational Radio last time I checked.
Girl, that's because you just show up. We done changed this
I
name
do.
in 2024. It's TIBN.
I was not aware of that. So, on Trivia's
I'm,
Inspirational
I'm really not a
Broadcast,
bad look. I'm really not a bad CEO. I don't know what happened.
as we talked about my very interesting schedule. That's what
Yes.
happened. But if you are one of those people, you have a story to tell, you have a niche that is very unique to you, but you want to share it, this is a place.
Hey, I got it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, um, I know we're finishing, but I just want to let everybody know this was enlightening because this is the first time Jay didn't even ask me to be on her show. I just said, whenever you want me to be on there, and I popped up.
It's
So,
communication.
huh.
Nothing.
um, but I just really appreciate everybody that joins in and watches and listens, and even shares because this is just the beginning and it's only up from here. So thank you so much, Kaya, for letting me crash your show.
You're welcome. I can't spell.
I told y'all she doing homework.
I actually am not. You can't see what I put up because for some reason it didn't show. Oh, ha ha ha. I'm producing my own show.
She does, and she does it well.
So we definitely went over. However, if people are interested in joining the broadcast network, how should they go about that?
For starts, you can go online to www.triviasinspirationalradio.com to see what we have to offer, to listen to our 24/7 music, which is amazing. And then you can send us a message to let us know that you're interested. You can also email me at admin@triviasinspirationalradio.com and let me know that you're interested. And finally, if neither one of those options work, you can send me a text at 443-810-6231. 443-810-6231.
Wait, you gotta repeat that number.
You don't know my number? 443-810-6231.
Um, I don't use the work number.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, and my email, admin@triviasinspirationalradio.com. Y'all, this is just so fun to me because it's just showing me some things that I have to do and I have to learn because my own children produce and host their own shows and segments. So I'm just normally in the background producing and doing all the good stuff. But as you can see, the number to text is 443-810-6231. And you can email me at admin@triviasinspirationalradio.com. So, Jan, take us home.
All right. So that was our show for Champion with Queen JayaLynn and the encourager Trivia Payne, CEO of Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast Network. We hope that you've enjoyed or at least got something out of this encouragement. Not 30 minutes today, but it was still encouragement. Great advice. Take it or leave it. What is your saying?
Chew the meat and spit out the bone.
Chew the meat, spit out the bones. So if it wasn't for you, that is perfectly fine. Feel free to share it. Maybe it'll work for somebody else, but it does not have to. Might not have worked for us, might not work for you, might not work for that person. But remember, just because somebody's telling you how they feel does not mean they need your advice. Sometimes it's okay to say, I'm listening, but let me know if you want to hear my suggestion. Don't gotta take it. Just an opportunity.
Yeah, I think she's talking to me.
Oh, what did I say?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So that was Champion. Have a great, amazing week.
Bye.